Over 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccine have gone into arms worldwide. This has led to some regions easing restrictions. With worldwide variant cases on the rise, experts are warning that the first generation of vaccines could eventually become ineffective if people around the globe don't receive them fast enough.
The only way to stop COVID right now is really through worldwide vaccination. Nobody's safe until we're all safe, because viruses don't respect borders.
We're taking a look at the data from 5 countries and asking, how is the race to vaccinate looking around the world? In India, only about 10% of the population has received a dose of vaccine. Despite keeping cases per capita low for most of the last year, the UK variant and another, B.1.617, has been wreaking havoc. The infection rate was low and well below that of the United States, until mid-March when it began to rise. Cases began skyrocketing after a series of religious ceremonies and mass political rallies. India recently surpassed 400,000 new infections in one day, a record for any country since the pandemic began. Other countries have enacted travel restrictions from the region to try and limit the spread.
I'm announcing that we are temporarily suspending entry into New Zealand for travellers from India.
Despite those efforts, traces of the B.1.617 variant have already been found abroad.
So the idea that we're going to build a wall around the United States or Canada or the UK or France and go back to our business misrecognizes that we are all connected globally. We know we live in a global economy.
But what happens when vaccines are slow to arrive in some countries? In Canada, about 40% of the population has received a dose. Slow vaccine distribution, combined with the dominant presence of the UK variant, has meant areas of Canada continue to see lockdown measures to try to temper the spread of infections. The country's now seeing a rate hovering around 200 new cases per million, which has been outpacing the daily case rate in the United States. How do lockdown measures pair with higher vaccination rates? In the UK, more than half of the population has received at least one dose. This comes after the UK variant spread quickly domestically and then to 50 other countries. Vaccinations, combined with strict lockdown measures, have dramatically decreased the number of new infections after peaking at over 1,000 cases per million in January. Even with vaccinations, what are the risks of easing lockdowns? Chile has staged an aggressive effort to vaccinate its citizens. Despite 45% of Chileans receiving a jab, the country has still seen an uptick in infections, recently peaking at 478 cases per million. Critics say this is due to restrictions being loosened prematurely.
El gobierno chileno relajó mucho las medidas durante el periodo de vacaciones. Existieron permisos que se dieron a las personas para que se movilizaran dentro del país y además también ocurrieron muchos viajes fuera del país. La vacunación comenzó con las personas de mayor edad, pero los casos siguieron en aumento y ahora tenemos el fenómeno de que hay muchas personas cercanas a los 40 años que han necesitado hospitalización.
So, can anyone win the race against the variants? The US has given out the highest total number of vaccines. New daily cases have dropped from around 900 infections per million in January to under 100 in May. Many states have seen substantial drops in new infections, but variants again have fueled an uptick of cases and hospitalizations in other regions. All this amounts to what the CDC is calling a complicated stage of the pandemic. Vaccination numbers continue to rise, but until more people have received it around the world, experts are underscoring the importance of vaccine equality and staying vigilant against the variants.
Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not a danger to you. Just because you and your family got vaccinated doesn't mean you're out of the woods. We either get rid of it or we're going to live with it for a long time, and live with it not in a way that lets us sort of forget about it.